Free, high quality, consistent. This is the exact kind of traffic that every e-commerce entrepreneur wants. And today, you're gonna learn how to make it happen by learning the basics of search engine optimization. Welcome back to Learn with Shopify. I'm your host, Tyler, and today you're gonna learn how to use SEO to increase sales and grow your brand. I am so excited to share with you some simple techniques that every online business owner should be practicing. When it comes to learning SEO, the entire subject can make some business owners feel like they don't know where to start. Between intimidating industry jargon and constantly evolving search engine updates, the subject of SEO to a beginner can feel as unapproachable as trigonometry. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's a shame that so many miss out on free, predictable, high-quality traffic because SEO wasn't explained in a way that felt easy to understand. So today, I'm gonna explain the basics of e-commerce SEO in a way that feels simple and is above all, actionable. If you're completely new to the subject, you might be thinking, what even is SEO? Search engine optimization is the process by which content is created and enhanced in a way that makes finding them on search engines like Google, YouTube, Yahoo, and Bing easier. When you type a search term into Google, the search engine results page, sometimes called a SERP for short, gives us a few paid ads and 10 organic, unpaid search results below them. The goal of SEO is to rank within these 10 organic search results, the crown jewel being the #1 ranking. As you'll know from your own experience searching things on Google, the vast majority of people never click past the first page. Just how many don't? A study from a few years back found an astonishing 95% of Google users never click past the first page. As it turns out, the best place to hide from your customers is on page 2 of Google. For websites lucky enough to gain the first position on a search engine results page, they gain an astonishing 32.2% of traffic for that search term. When thousands of people are searching for that particular term every month, this can translate into a lot of people landing on your website. And if you're targeting the right search terms, this can translate to a lot of sales. There are 3 basic categories of search terms. The first is navigational. These are the search terms you type in when you're trying to navigate to a specific website. Like when you're looking for amazing digital growth strategies, so you type in Learn with Shopify YouTube channel. The second is informational. These are the types of search terms you use when trying to gather knowledge or conduct research. Like when you type in how to build an e-commerce site or what is SEO. And then there's transactional. These are the types of search terms you type in when trying to take a commercial action. Like when you want a fresh new pair of kicks, so you type in buy Nike shoes online. Now that we have a bit of background knowledge on SEO, let's get into how we actually get started. Since a user's journey begins with a search term, it probably won't surprise you that our process begins with keyword research. When conducting keyword research, content marketers and publishers often care most about informational keywords. And that's because informational keywords often get a ton of searches. Side note, the number of times that users search for a given term is called search volume. However, as e-commerce entrepreneurs, it's a bit different. We're less concerned with vanity metrics like the number of visitors and more concerned with the quality of those visitors. Let me be clear. Having a lot of traffic is great, but we want people coming to us for the right reason. We're looking for visitors who are most likely to buy what we're selling. That's why we want to rank for commercial keywords that show buying intent, like best standing desk or buy waterproof tent. Since it's by far the most popular search engine on the planet, I'm going to be showing you how to conduct keyword research using Google, but you can use similar processes on other search engines as well. Our process of finding the right keywords begins with the autocomplete feature of Google. The autocomplete feature is a great resource for finding what is known as long-tail keywords. Long-tail simply means keyword phrases that are 3 or 4 words long. Another great resource for keyword ideas is the related searches section at the bottom of the search engine results page. These sections can be absolute gold mines for keyword ideas and are a great place to get started. Amazon also has their own autocomplete feature. Use a search term that's relevant to the product you sell, and Amazon will give you a bunch of ideas for keywords and product category names. Here's a pro tip. When using this process on either Google or Amazon, keep an eye out for long tail keywords. These are the key phrases that are 3 to 4 words in length, and they are highly specific. And as a result, they often have lower competition and higher conversion rates. These strategies are great if you're just starting out, but if you have a little bit of money to invest, I highly recommend getting a subscription to a keyword tool. Keyword tools like SEMrush can really make finding better keywords easier. SEMrush is such a powerful tool for finding keywords and conducting a competitor analysis. Simply type in the domain name of the competitor into the search bar. Scroll down and you can see so much useful information, like what keywords they're ranking for by country, their keyword trend, their search engine results page features, and more. Go to the drop down and click Organic Research. Scroll down and now you can see all the keywords that your competitor ranks for. You can even see their top position changes. Then click on the tab that says Competitors. And now you'll see a list of websites that you can use to mine more keywords from. Now click the sidebar that says Gap Analysis. Simply put in the competitor's name, and once it loads, scroll down and click the tab that says Unique Keywords. Now you can see a list of all the keywords that your competitors are ranking for that your site isn't. Now that you have a large list of keywords, it's time to whittle them down to find the keywords that will be most valuable for you. Here are 4 factors that you should measure your keywords against. Keyword search volume. The higher the search volume, the more potential traffic. Competition. The lower the competition, the more likely you are to rank for that search term. Relevancy. How relevant is your product page or category page to the given search term? Don't try and trick search engines. The Google gods see all. And intent. You want to make sure your keyword shows buying intent. These types of keywords often have higher conversion rates. Factors like page authority and domain authority give you insight into how difficult it will be to outrank the current results. The higher this number, the tougher time you're going to have. But the lower the all-in-title number, the better. All-in-title essentially means competition, so the lower the competition, the better chances you have to rank. You might be surprised to find out that the design of your site affects a lot more than just your user experience. It also affects how easily search engines can find the product pages on your website. It's really important to take the time to get this right, as it's going to save a lot of time and heartbreak later down the road. Make sure that your site structure is simple but easy to scale as your site grows. Every page of your site should be as few clicks from your homepage as possible. You don't want your users having to spin in circles or click the back button to get where they're trying to go. The further away your product pages are from your homepage, the less authority they will have. Less authority essentially means less likely to rank and less visible because search engines see them as less important. I'll talk a little bit more about authority later when we discuss backlinks, so stay tuned. Here's a pro tip. Be highly selective of which levels of your website structure are indexed. To put it simply, the index is essentially the database that powers search engines. Use the supply and demand principle to choose which categories, filters, and attributes are worthy of indexing. Before indexing a page, make sure to answer these 3 questions. How relevant is the query that is used for the search? Does your audience search for the term enough to compensate the time and effort to index that page? And do you have enough relevant products, services, and offerings to be featured on that indexed page? Here are some really common mistakes that e-commerce SEO beginners make. Unlike blogs, e-commerce sites often have a lot less rich content. Arbitrary product and attribute filters can make this a lot worse, as they'll create pages that only have a few products on it with really thin descriptions. These random product and attribute filters can also cause content duplication issues, which is exactly as straightforward as it sounds. This is when the same content can be found on multiple areas of your site. Search engines absolutely hate it when you have overly similar content featured on multiple pages. This is because search engines aren't sure which content they should rank, and as a result, they can penalize pages or sometimes domain names altogether. Shopify makes avoiding content duplication so much easier by auto-generating canonical tags for you. A canonical tag is essentially an invisible sign that tells Google which page is the master version and which one you want them to look at. It's highly recommended that you add these tags as you don't want Google ranking the wrong page or getting frustrated and diluting your ranking ability altogether. If you're not on a platform like Shopify that automatically generates these tags for you, you can generate them manually and add them in using a snippet of code into your HTML header. Now that you've laid the foundation for your SEO success, it's time to optimize your two most important pages, your product pages and your product category pages. Now, if you're using Shopify, one of the beautiful things about this platform is that this is going to be so much easier because it generates these four things automatically. Canonical tags are automatically generated, which we spoke a little bit about before. Sitemap.xml and robots.txt files are also automatically created. A sitemap.xml file is essentially a roadmap to your website. Robots.txt files tell Googlebots which web pages to crawl. Title tags that include your store name are also included, and this is great for SEO. Social media linking and sharing options are also included. Truth be told, those things can be pretty annoying to do yourself, so I highly recommend going with a platform that does them for you. Once those things are complete, here are the next things that you need to optimize. A title tag is essentially just a fancy name for the blue clickable headline that appears when you conduct a Google search. An amazing title tag will include the following: a hook that grabs your reader by using emotion and curiosity. Click-through rate is really important to Google, so make sure your title tag is engaging. A primary keyword and, if possible, a long tail variation. Try front-loading your title with your primary keyword, as it's sometimes a ranking factor. Make sure it's short and sweet. You'll need to be below 60 characters to ensure your title tag doesn't get cut off on the search engine results page. Make sure that your title tag is descriptive of the qualities of your blog post or page. For a blog post that's in-depth, try using words like ultimate, definitive guide, or step-by-step. For a product page, make sure that you describe the product fully, like 5-piece barbecue sets. For a product category page, make sure that you describe the items and the ideal customer, like 3-piece suits for groomsmen. Also, if your platform doesn't do it automatically, after your headline, it's a best practice to include your brand name, using the naming convention pipe symbol brand name. Also, make sure that all the title tags on your websites are unique. If they're not, Google may ultimately penalize you in the long run. Meta descriptions are basically just the paragraph that appears beneath the blue headline on Google. When writing meta descriptions, you'll want to make sure that you include your primary keyword and any relevant secondary keywords. However, the most important part is that the meta descriptions are enticing enough that a user clicks through. So don't jam them full of unnecessary or repetitive keywords. Next, we have your URL. Your URL should include your primary keyword phrase, and it should be short, no longer than 3 or 4 words. Getting rid of stop words like the and at is a great call. You'll also want to make sure that it matches your title as closely as possible. And also, it should be unique enough from other URLs on your site that search engines aren't going to get confused. Now, let's talk about images. When including images, it's important to note that original images can help your page rank better. Now, if you don't have thousands of dollars to spend on professional camera equipment or hire a photographer, don't worry. Just check out our video on how to shoot product photos on your cell phone, and that will give you everything you need to get started. Beyond having original images, it's really important that you optimize them correctly. We'll start with the alt text. The alt text provides a description of the contents of the photo. It's really important that you fill this out, as it helps Google understand what is going on the image and how to rank it correctly. While you do want to include keywords in the alt text, make sure that you accurately describe what is going on in the photo, as it does help the visually impaired. Also, the file names of your media files need to include the primary keyword. Make sure to never upload a nondescript file name like the ones your camera or computer will auto-generate. Now let's talk about header tags. It's really important that header tags are used properly, as they help Google understand the order of importance when crawling your web page. H1s, H2s, and H3s should always be used in a hierarchy, with H1 being at the top and H5 being at the bottom. Use header tags on your product descriptions. Not only do they make it easier on the eyes, but they also help Google bots more effortlessly crawl your site. Here's a pro tip. Save H1s for your primary keyword, and then use H2s and below for secondary keywords and long-tail keyword phrases. Let's talk about another best practice, writing rich product descriptions. If there's anything that search engines hate, it's obscurity. If you're writing overly short product descriptions, you're not giving your product pages a fighting chance. That's why you need to write rich product descriptions that include reviews to help potential customers and Google understand what you're really selling. If you want tips on how to write product descriptions that actually sell, check out this video here. Let's not forget about internal linking. The longer that you can keep a visitor on your site, the larger chance you have of snagging a sale. Including relevant links to other pages on your site is a great way to help your customers browse so they can discover other information and stumble upon other products that they might find valuable. In your anchor text, the words where you actually place your link, make sure to include the keyword verbatim. Internal linking can be used to drive customers to product pages, categories, and even educational content. Here's a pro tip. If you understand your audience's decision-making process, create content that helps them through the various stages in the buyer journey. Also, don't go too crazy with internal linking. 1 or 2 links every few hundred words is more than enough. Finally, let's talk about backlinks. We spoke a bit about authority earlier on in the video, and I think the most interesting way to explain it is to give a brief history of Google. The basic concept of Google was created by Larry Page and Sergey Brin when they were working on a thesis project that attempted to organize the entire internet. So after downloading the entire internet, yes, you heard that correctly, they proceeded to find a better way to make search engines work. Rather than simply drawing results by keyword, they believed that the highest quality information could be surfaced if web pages were given authority, similar to the way that academic papers are given authority, based on the number and quality of citations. Except in this case, citations are called backlinks. While there are hundreds of other ranking factors used in their algorithm, Google uses the quality, relevancy, and number of backlinks to judge a site's quality and trustworthiness. As a result, news sites have less authority in the eyes of Google. While time can fix this, building backlinks can be a great way to get search engines to recognize your authority faster. Respected .com, .gov, and .edu sites will provide you the most authority when they give you a backlink. However, .coms are probably the most accessible place to start. One of the best ways to approach building backlinks is to focus on partnerships. Look for other websites that are closely related to your niche and find ways that you can exchange mutual value. Guest posts can be a great way to build backlinks, provided that the content is relevant and provides your audience with real value. As a pro tip, you can analyze competitors' backlinks using SEMrush. This is a great way to unearth backlink opportunities in your niche. Another way that you can build backlinks is through press mentions. While building your own press list can be labor-intensive and hiring a PR firm can be incredibly expensive, here's a simple growth hack that anyone can do. Sign up for helpareporter.com and you'll get a daily digest of reporter requests right to your email. When you see a lead that matches your brand story, respond to the email with a pitch. If you get an interview, make sure to ask the journalist for a backlink to your website. Lastly, be wary of backlinking services. Sometimes they can try and sell backlinks based on quantity rather than quality, and this can really hurt your SEO overall. Invest time in creating quality backlinks. It will really help you out in the long run. SEO is a rabbit hole that is incredibly deep, and techniques are constantly evolving. Hopefully this video has given you a strong enough foundation in e-commerce SEO for you to get started. Got anything in your business journey that you could use help with? Well, comment below and we'll make a video happen so that we can set you up for success. Don't forget to smash that like button so that more entrepreneurs can get empowered by the information we're sharing. Remember, we aren't just a channel. We're a movement of online business owners with big plans. Thanks so much for joining me on Learn with Shopify. I'm your host, Tyler, and I'll see you next time.